Hi, this is Pat Duckworth, the author of Hot Women Rock, How to Discover Your Midlife Entrepreneurial Mojo. And as you know, some of my guests are people that I've met years ago, or I've met in foreign countries, or I meet people all over the place. But my guest today is somebody who I only met about a week and a half ago, and immediately made a connection and thought it'd be great to find out more about her journey to doing what she does today. So without further ado, because I will be learning about her as much as you will be, my guest today is the founder of Feel Fab Naturally. After more than 3 decades of working as a public relations and corporate communications consultant, she pivoted to a new role as an entrepreneur in the wellbeing world. Having worked as a PR and a business English as a foreign language trainer in Europe and the Middle East, she realized that sharing information to help others was where her heart lay. Following a chance encounter at a networking meeting with someone helping to launch a biohacking business in the UK, she checked out the company and promptly jumped into launch mode as well. Fast forward 4 years, and she now helps people around the world support their well-being with better cellular health by sharing information on simple, natural, and clinically proven self-care routes. So it's a big welcome today to Philippa Taylor. Hi, Philippa.
Oh,
How are you
lovely.
doing?
Hi, I'm really well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me on to talk with you. And yeah, as you say, we've only just met, but we instantly got on and have been having a few laughs. So it's lovely to be here.
We're both very hot today, hot women in every sense of the world, because it's a very warm day. So if you see our sort of makeup, mascara running down our faces, it's all just natural. So Philippa, I'm really looking forward to finding out more about you. How did you start out? What was your first career when you left school?
Well, my grandmother said to me, if you learn how to type, you will always be able to find a job and have your own money. So when I left school, I moved to London. I was living in Norfolk and I took a secretarial course. I can remember how to do thank you for your letter in shorthand, and that's about it. But the skills I took in learning to type meant that when I started working as a PR consultant, I didn't have to worry about how to learn to type because I could do that already. So there was some sort of logic in her thinking.
Yeah, I remember years ago I thought about learning to touch type, and then I let that madness go. But so what happened then? Where did you go from learning to type?
I took a secretarial post because I decided to have 2 years off in between, it was 1 year between A levels and university, and I was having such a good time in London. I took another year and I worked for some chartered surveyors. I worked for a legal firm, and then I went and did an English degree. And in the summer holidays, just as my grandma predicted, I earned some money by being a temporary secretary. And then when I moved back into London after I finished my degree, was looking at 2 options. It was merchant banking or PR consultant. And my sort of feeling was, whichever one comes up first, I'll go for that route. And PR came up first. So that's where I went to. And that's where I stayed for, gosh, over 30 years with a few sidebars.
Well, so our first point of contact here is that I was a chartered surveyor.
Oh.
So you worked in that industry, and I did that for a lot of years. Yeah, which often comes as a surprise to people.
Yes.
So when you entered into PR, was it something that you immediately found interesting?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I love solving problems. I love helping people, and I love communicating. So it was just heaven on a stick for me. And I remember the first job. It was a small agency in London, and they said we're launching a vintage port in a week. And it was literally, I was thrown in at the deep end trying to organise, finish off the organisation at the venue and all the invitations and the journalists. And it was like, the water of my knowledge level is here and I'm only just about coping. But by the end of the week, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine, I'm here. And I loved it. I still do a little bit of PR now, and it just ticks lots of boxes for me.
So what skills do you think you learned at that stage that you've later brought into your entrepreneurial world?
I think listening, definitely listening and trying to sort of read between the lines and taking a lot of complex information and distilling it down into something that actually has the end user as the start point. You know, I part of my career has been training people in PR, and when you try and share a lot of sort of experience as well as theoretical knowledge, you know, you have to think of visuals, and a visual that I use is, think of a parachute and the person dangling off the bottom. Now, the parachute are the big issues in the world that people are interested in, and the person is the human interest. And you start with either one of those and then follow up with the other one, rather than a lot of clients and companies want to talk all about the features, the bit in the middle, which actually nobody really cares about. So, you know, listen to what they're telling you and then think, okay, who's the person or company or whatever that's going to use that product or service? What do they want? What's in it for them? And start with that, and everything else will flow.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point. So what was the trigger then for moving out of that work into what you do now? You said you had this chance encounter. What was all that about?
Uh, Sort of along the way, I've done sort of various other sort of sidebar careers. I've done a little bit of career counselling. I was doing my PR training. We moved to Paris, and I taught English as a business English as a foreign language, and trained around the world in that. And we adopted our son, and I wanted to work at home, not be in a corporate environment anymore. So I was looking to work on my own as a PR consultant, which was great. But I got to that point where I was thinking, do you know what? I'm 55. Is this it? Is this all there is? You know, I've got the hang of PR after 30 odd years. You know, it's the same problems in a different package normally. And I was at a networking meeting, and somebody started talking about biohacking and nutrigenomics and activation. And I thought two things. One, I'm curious because I like lifestyle and I've done a lot of sports. I'm into well-being, but also my sort of PR BS radar went off because you know, clients come to me for PR and they say, oh, we're the best thing since sliced bread. And you start poking and prodding and lifting the stones, and you go, no, just no. I can't talk to somebody on a tabloid or a broadsheet or anywhere, because what you're saying is absolutely not true. You know, and you have to have some tough conversations. So I apply that logic even to everything else that I do, is like, prove it, and then let me tick a few other boxes, and then we've got a conversation.
Yeah, my husband and I used to laugh at this advert on TV. It's a few years ago now. It's some kind of beauty product. And they said it had this amazing ingredient in it called Boswellox. And you think, who in some meeting made up the word Boswellox? And did they not understand what it sounded like? Because after a few months, this disappeared and nothing else had this magic ingredient in it. And sometimes, yeah, that radar goes off and you think, is this just Boswellox? You know?
Yeah.
So
I like that. My new word.
yeah. I miss Boswellox. So what engaged you about doing this? So you said you've been interested in health and well-being and sport, and is that where your interest lay in pursuing this new product?
It was a combination, really. I've always loved to help people, and you know, I did a lot of pro bono PR work and help the local community, you know, local flower festival and things like that. But I wanted a vehicle that would let me help people, but also give me a business, which meant I could then help more people. So it was a win-win. And if you can help impact and transform somebody's well-being, that's really powerful. And I thought, well, if all I have to do is, you know, share some information, and then they make up their own mind. And if they say, yes, I'm interested, happy days. And if they say, no, I'm not interested, happy days because I've done my job, I've shared the information. Well, this just seemed like, too much of a good thing for me to, communicating and helping. So I thought, right, that's it, I'm in, let's do it, go.
And did the company give you training? Were there skills that you needed in order to become an entrepreneur?
It was less skills in terms of saying, this is the very simple system that we use. You invite somebody to look at a link, you answer their questions. It was a very simple system. It's more the personal development that they share that I missed if I thought back about it. Moving from a corporate world where you get lots of training and support, and then when you work for yourself, that goes by the by after a while. So I think it's more the personal support and the fact that if you just follow a very simple system, it works.
Yeah, fantastic. So this is Pat Duckworth, and today my guest is Philippa Taylor, and we're talking about her becoming an entrepreneur in her mid-50s. And I find that very interesting because the whole premise of Hot Women Rock is the fact that women get to midlife and realize there's something new that they want to do. And there's not a lot written about what's going on neurologically at this stage of life, but I think the brain is evolving as we get into this second stage of life. Did you feel like there was another challenge coming up for you when you took this new role on?
I wouldn't have said it was more of a challenge. It just fed my sense of purpose. For me, the reason I do it is because I want to make a difference. That old adage, I want to make a dent in the universe. And I knew that there was something that I could do, and I just hadn't really crystallized it. And it was sort of a meeting of two ideas that, oh yes, that's really an area of interest, and oh yeah, okay, that's going to help people. It just came together. It was right place, right time.
Yeah, and how easy was it for you to set up this new business? Were there new things that you had to learn how to do?
Because I'm working with a company that's already established, I didn't have to go through the same processes that I did when I set up my PR business. I was given an e-commerce site to work with, whereas for my PR business, I had to create it with all the painful processes that is. I'm sure anyone that's set up a website knows the journey that is. So it wasn't so much that I had to set anything up, it was more that I had to sort of change mindset from I was the client, the owner, the end user, everything. But there was a whole team of people that I can call on, and everybody is saying, oh yeah, try that, do this, have you thought about that? And I was like, okay, yes. But I just love the fact that it's a simple business model and it works. So I thought, well, lovely,
That entrepreneurial mindset is so different because I've got this 30-year background of working in public service and at a corporate level, and to change from being in a business where things are done for you. If the IT goes wrong, there's somebody on the end of the phone that you call. If something isn't delivered, somebody makes sure that it does. If you need stuff filed away, somebody does it. That's very different from running your own business, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm lucky enough, my husband works in IT. So when he was in the office, I'd be going, darling, he went, IT department.
He didn't just say switch it
Yeah.
off and switch it back on, did he?
Oh no, he knows me too well enough that I've done the turn it on and off, heat it, hit it, walk away, come back again. But yes, it's a different mindset. But I think if you're prepared to take, some of the nitty gritty work, then it doesn't, the benefits and the pluses of being in control of your own destiny are just amazing. I mean, the freedom. I mean, it's a beautiful day today. So I've been for a walk this morning, and we've had lunch outside. I'm going to go out again later. I know that if I've got any writing to do, I can do it when it's a little bit cooler, or I shall in fact probably do it tomorrow on that side. but also it's that sense of purpose. I know that if I want to help more people, I have to contact more people, and share more people and give to get. So that's really powerful, rather than, I know, working in an office job. It's very easy to be, stamp and go, it's same problems, different day on that
Yeah.
side. So I love having that freedom of thought and control.
I'm hearing all your values coming out here, freedom, control, creativity, wellness, helping others. It's all coming out just in the way that you talk about this business. Are there any other things that are really important to you that you think that you actually satisfy through your business?
I think empowerment, I know it's a bit of a hot word, a bit like pivoting, but it's, I'm definitely more of a teacher. My mother always used to say, you should have been a teacher. I was like, I do not have the patience to be a teacher. Happy being a trainer, but not a teacher. But it is, it's teaching somebody to fish rather than giving them a fish. That's really important for me.
Yeah.
And being authentic as well.
Yeah.
Going back to the point about when I heard about the business, my BS radar went off. I'd satisfied myself that it was valid and it did what it said on the tin, and I liked the natural side of it, and I like the proof, and I take it. So I'm happy to talk to other people about it. So I think if you've got a passion for something and you believe it, because on whatever level you believe it, then I think that's really important as well.
Yeah, excellent. So what does success mean to you now?
Success for me, my short-term goal is to work with people all over the world to help spread this sort of way of supporting your well-being. And then long-term is to be able to train people to do more of what I'm doing, which means that, I've actually helped transform well-being, I suppose, globally. I know that's a bit grandiose to say that, but it's to say, okay, if I can empower you to change your well-being, and to maybe if you want to do some business as well, and I've helped you do that, those ripples will just continue forever. And that for me is success.
Yeah, fantastic. And if you had 3 top tips for a new entrepreneur, what would you say to them?
I would say be very clear on what it is that you want to achieve. What difference do you want to make by your business coming into existence? Because if you have that, everything you do will be easy, because you've got a touch point to reference. If I do this, will it help me get closer to that? Yes, do it. No, don't, on that side. So that would be my top one. Play to your strengths. I love communicating, not so keen on accounting. I could do it. I quite like the numbers side, but I just, it's a chore. So somebody else does that. So play to your strengths. I had a PR client who makes amazing chocolates, and he's just fantastic, but he tries to do everything. And it dilutes what time he has to do what he's best at. And it's an ongoing conversation, is actually do what you're best at and work out how you can make the rest of it simple on that side.
Yeah, really good point.
And my third tip would be to celebrate every win, however small. Who my son goes, why are you doing your happy dance? And I'm like, oh no, because this is it, and I can't. And when I was a PR consultant full time, I just do a little bit now, if I got something in the newspaper or magazine, I'd be going, yeah, like this, and I'd keep it. We have boxes full of stuff that I never scanned that will probably just go to recycling. Or now, if when I get some feedback from someone who tells me how great they feel, I'm like, yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to ask you to do something different now.
Ooh.
Yeah. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to imagine, get that feeling of joy and achievement and take it out to 5 years from now, 5 years from now, with that wonderful sense of joy and achievement in everything that you've achieved. Just notice what's around you, what you're seeing, hearing, feeling. Who are you at 5 years from now? And then open your eyes and tell me, who were you 5 years from now? Who's Philippa out in the future?
Or Philippa out in the future is someone that spends more time training than anything else. She doesn't do PR. She travels and trains and, you know, is on stages and just enjoying it. And the traveling, I think that's really important for me, is to go and help people wherever they are, not just sort of, you know, Buckinghamshire or France, where we live in between the two on that side. So yes.
Lovely. So if people want to find out more about you and what you do, how do they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, Philippa Taylor PhilFab. My website is feelfabnaturally.com, and my contact details are all on that. I'm on Facebook. I have a tips-based wellbeing community, which I started just before lockdown, and it's all about fabulous you. And we just share different ways for self-care and supporting well-being there. So I'm fairly easy to find. If you can see this green colour anywhere, then it's more than likely to be the right Philippa Taylor.
And is there anything new that's in the pipeline that you can share with us? Anything coming up?
There was something coming up, another way for healthy aging. You know, we've got 2 different products at the moment in the UK around antioxidant activation, mitochondrial support, and there was one for NAD. Obviously with lockdown, that's been put on hold, but I have tried that, and it is, yeah, it's just as much of a game changer as the other 2. So I'm really excited about that when it comes out.
Oh, well, we'll be watching out for that. So what have we learnt today? Well, just by listening to Philippa, we can hear all of her values, that she likes to learn and to share. She likes to be creative, that freedom is really important, and living according to your purpose. And that she's very clear about her purpose, which is making a difference and really making a difference to people's health as well. So, and being clear about what it is you want to do before you get started, and playing to your strengths. If you're good at something, if you've got a superpower, use your superpower. Don't use the things that you aren't good at, because they're just going to drain your energy and drain your business. So thank you so much for sharing all of this, Philippa.
No, my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been really good fun. Thank you.
Excellent. And just to all our viewers, keep watching out for more of these interviews with amazing entrepreneurs, and I'll see you next time.